And we'll take a short break and return with news from the state. Stay with us.
Thanks for staying with us here on TVC News. This news from the states where we bring you reports on key developments across the states, 36 states. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Now, as housing costs continue to rise across Lokoja metropolis, residents are pinning their hopes on a proposal bill before the Kogi State House of Assembly aimed at regulating rent and protecting tenants. Many believe its swift passage and other government efforts could bring long-awaited relief and help restore balance to the housing sector amid soaring accommodation costs. Michael Ila reports.
Lokoja, the Kogi state capital, is witnessing a growing housing crunch driven by rapid urban expansion and its strategic location. For many residents, securing affordable accommodation is becoming increasingly difficult, with rents rising sharply across areas like Krosha, Phase 2, Lokongoma, GRA and Shetima.
The increment is alarming. It's not just 10% or 20% increments. Something even more, it's above 100% increments in some cases.
Because we that the tenant that is inside, we want to build our own too, but no way, because the landlord and the landlady are just collecting the money we are hustling.
It didn't pepper me for body now. I best not if you go sit down for a village like that. Now I make up.
Meanwhile, landlords and property agents argue that rising rents are tied to increasing costs of building materials, labor, and property maintenance.
Tenants, immediately they enter the house or the room, they will not maintain it. They will just destroy it. When you use ties to do the addition, they break it, they wash anything, so that is the reason.
It's not maybe because of agents or what have you. No. If there's any disagreement between you and the landlord, he looks for a different agent to handle that. And the other agent that is coming, we even tell him, and we even have people that will pay higher.
Amid growing concerns, the Kogi State House of Assembly has introduced a bill to regulate rent increases and protect tenants from exploitation, while the government says it remains committed to mass housing projects.
Kogi State Tenancy Law 2025. It has gone through the first and second reading of the House, and it has been committed to the Committee of Public Hearing. So as soon as the House resumes after Salah, all the stakeholders will be invited.
Even the governor himself is concerned about it, and also has asked us to intervene and mediate. It's part of the mandate of the ministry to engage in the provision of mass housing.
As the bill moves closer to public hearing, expectations are rising, with residents across Lokoja metropolis hopeful for a much-needed relief in the housing sector. Michael Ila, TVC News, Lokoja.
Michael Ila joins me on news from states. Michael, from your report, Lokoja appears to be under real housing pressure. Help us understand what exactly is driving this surge in rents across key areas like Krosha, Lokongoma, and GRA.
So, hello, Ibrahim. The areas you mentioned are high-brow areas in the town. And in my conversation with the Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development, he tells me that it is demand that is affecting supply. So he cited factors like increase in the number of tertiary institutions and other agencies and even citing cases of security challenges affecting residents in the hinterlands across the three senatorial districts. So most of them are not seeing the reason to they're coming in droves into the state capital, where they hope that
Right, Michael. So now the big question is, this proposed bill before the Kogi State House of Assembly, what exactly does it seek to regulate? Are we talking about rent caps, tenancy duration, or penalties for arbitrary increases?
conversation with the lawmaker and the major sponsor of that bill, Akus Lawal, he tells me that the major focus is on arbitrary increases because in the last 2 years, these increases have risen very sharply, Ibrahim. So I think primarily the bill has its own line of underlistings with other factors to be considered amongst those you mentioned. But I think the major target, the ultimate factor would be the control of arbitrary increases where landlords are shifting blames to house agents and agents are also shifting blame to tenants. They are giving instances where in a standard house, self-contained apartments, for instance, where where it is only imagined that a single person will be residing there, you have two or more persons residing in that house, and then most of the times, if you they agree to pay above expected limits of pay, so there have been blames being shifted across borders, but in my conversation with the lawmaker, he says the focus primarily is on the arbitrary increase. Other factors could also be considered in the bill, and I'm sure that is what that public hearing segments of the bill would definitely seek to address, Ibrahim.
Talking about the blaming game, did any of the landlords or agents suggest alternative solutions, or is the burden simply being passed on to the tenants?
So the landlords themselves have spoken about the increases in building materials and other factors. Tenants, the lack of maintenance culture from tenants primarily. But then there have been conversations about mass housing projects, which also the commissioner also pointed out. He insisted that there are conversations with the Federal Ministry of Housing and also the Ministry of Works to see how they can rally in private investors. So the conversation about mass housing has always been at the front burner. Kogi State being majorly a civil service state, there are conversations about how you can provide housing opportunities for civil servants. Of course, there are 500 housing units, 200 housing units here in Lokoja, but the question is, are they enough? They are never enough, considering all these factors that people are coming in droves into the states, and then it's just 80% civil service workforce, and mass housing, it seems to be the only way out, Ibrahim.
One wonders when the house problem, rents and all of that, and the forth and back between landlords and tenants will definitely end, not in this century. Thank you very much, Mike Elila, for this update. Thank you.